Hey guys, how's it going? It's Michael with Real World Electric. Now, this is a special video that I'm doing today because this is my latest video in the sense that I just recorded it a few days ago. All the other videos on my channel, I recorded late last year and early this year. And then slowly but surely I was editing them and posting them over a course of a few months. I was hoping to do more videos over the summer, but you know, life kind of gets in the way sometimes. But I do have a lot more time nowadays, and I plan to be posting a lot more videos for the rest of the year if everything works out, of course. So I bought a new EV. I bought a new EV, and we'll get to what I bought in a little while. But I bought a new EV and I'm very excited. And I also plan to buy another EV later this year. So that'll make two EVs that I have. And I'll talk about what I plan to buy in a future video. As for my current EV, well, I've had it for about 4 months now. I was shopping around for an EV back in about in the month of May, and during that time, and probably still, today, the new car market was and is still currently crazy. Dealerships across the nation, for the most part, have very low inventory on new cars right now, and because gas prices spiked in the summer and they're still high, everybody wanted an EV, and the demand for EVs was very high. So not only was it hard to find a new EV, the ones I did find were normally marked up thousands of dollars. So I was hoping to get the new Hyundai Ioniq 5 or the Kia EV6. I was aiming for one of those two EVs. And unfortunately, I didn't get either of those. And it's mostly because of the dealership markups that those two EVs had. So I was able to find one dealership in my area, which is in Southern California. I was able to find one dealership that had a few EV6s. And unfortunately, it was marked up. I think it was about $10,000, or maybe it was $8,000. I can't remember. But the markup made the payments very high. And even with good credit and with a decent down payment, the payments were just ridiculous. I wasn't gonna pay that much for a car that, in my opinion, wasn't worth it. I really wanted it, but the payments were was way too high. And the dealership wasn't working with me because obviously the next person in was going to buy it. Actually, they had about 3 or 4 EV6s on the lot, and all of them were gone the next day. So if I didn't buy it, someone else was, and they weren't, they really weren't working with me. Same exact thing happened with the Ioniq 5. So I found one dealership. Nobody else had EV6s or Ioniq 5s in my entire area except for one dealership each. So I found one dealership with a few Ioniq 5s, and it was the same exact thing. The payments were very high because it was marked up about $8,000 to $10,000, and it just didn't make sense. So then I thought about a Chevy Bolt, a Bolt EV, and I was able to find, once again, it wasn't easy. I found one dealership that didn't have any on the lot, but they had, I believe, 2 on the way, and I could have claimed one of those 2. And that was another issue, was that if dealerships didn't have any EVs on the lot, the ones on the way were already taken. Anyway, so I found a dealership that had a couple of Bolts on the way, and I went there, and I didn't test drive it because I've driven a Bolt before, and this was a new 2022 Bolt. And they gave me the numbers, and the numbers were decent. It was marked up, but it wasn't marked up as bad as the EV6 or Ioniq 5. And so I thought about it, but then I wanted to try one more EV. I tried many others, you know, the Nero EV, the Kona Electric, but I couldn't find any. Mach-E's were sold out, ID4s were sold out. I couldn't find any. So then I wanted to try for a Nissan Leaf. And somehow my local dealership here in Costa Mesa, California, had two on the way, and neither one was claimed. They didn't have any on the lot, but they had two on the way. So I went to the dealership, and they had a special on an 18-month lease. So I got some money back because of this special, and then the 18-month lease payments were good. They were nice and low, especially when you compare them to the payments of the other EVs I was looking for. So I thought about it, Leaf or the Bolt, and the Bolt would have been a 3-year lease. The lease is an 18-month lease with lower payments. So I decided on the Leaf, not only for the lower payments, but in 18 months, I want to try and get something new. You know, preferably what I want. Hopefully the market in 18 months from when I bought it, which is going to be roughly next September, October, roughly. Hopefully the new car market is back to normal, or mostly back to normal, and I get, you know, the EV that I want, which might still be the EV6 or Ioniq 5. We'll see what happens late next year. So yeah, I went for the Nissan Leaf, and that's what I'm driving right now. So the model that I got, I didn't have a choice. It was like a take it or leave it. You know, I didn't really have a choice. And so the model I got is the S Plus. So it's the larger battery pack. The EPA has the range roughly around 220 miles, but I'm able to go about 240, 250 miles. Since it's the S, it's the base trim. I would have preferred the SV, but I couldn't find one. So I got the S trim, but I'm not complaining. It's nicely loaded. I like it, you know. It has plenty of features considering it's the base trim. And so no, the Leaf wasn't my first choice, wasn't my second choice. It probably wasn't even my third choice. But it's what I was able to get in the market. You know, it's a rough market right now, especially for EVs, and it's what I'm able to get. And now I of course did consider a Tesla, and I also considered a base model Polestar, because you know those take several months. You order it and they take several months to come in. But you know, months prior to May, I wasn't sure, you know, where I was gonna be. So I just didn't, you know, order a Tesla or a Polestar, and I just waited until roughly the month that my previous car lease was over to start looking. Might have been a bad idea because the market's rough, but you know, it is what it is. And I landed on the Leaf, and so far I'm very happy with it. Oh, and by the way, it's a 2022 Leaf S Plus. The 2023 models only have two models or two trims. The base S with the smaller battery pack, and then the SV Plus with the larger battery pack, and that's for 2023. For 2022, they had more trims to choose from. So you're probably asking, you know, what do I think of an EV that I didn't initially want so far? Well, honestly, life with this Nissan Leaf, it's been about 4 months, and it's been good. It's been good so far. I like it, you know, a lot. I actually like it more than I thought I would. So it's first of all, it's very comfortable. The seats are very comfortable, and the ride is very soft. I'm really enjoying the comfort level of this car. It's also very quiet, not just because it's an EV, but it does a good job keeping the outside noise, you know, outside. And there's also plenty of cargo space, especially when you fold the seats down. You get a lot of cargo space. I was able to fit a pretty big recliner in here the other day. And yeah, it's the base model, but it still has a lot of features, like for example, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The Apple CarPlay works all the time, and very well. I have no complaints about the Apple CarPlay. And I also have a lot of driver assist features. I have automatic front braking, automatic rear braking, lane keep, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and rear parking sensors. So I do have a lot of driver assist features. And I also like the range I'm getting. If I drive efficiently, I could go about 250 miles on a full charge, which is more than what the EPA states. And it's also very quick. I like how quick it is. Some people have the misconception that Leafs are slow. They are not slow. This Leaf has a good amount of acceleration. It has plenty of acceleration from a stop. It's very quick around town. No complaints with the power or the speed at all. It has plenty of power. I haven't done a 0 to 60 yet, but it's probably about 7 seconds, which isn't bad for an affordable EV, and it's quicker than a comparable gas car. And it's fun to drive because it handles well. You could take this around the corner pretty quick, and it's quite fun. With the low battery pack, it has a low center of gravity, so going around twisty roads or turns is actually pretty fun. And it has full one-pedal driving. The one-pedal driving brings you to a complete stop. And I really enjoy one-pedal driving. So this car, in my opinion, is great to drive. I really enjoy the way it drives. And also, the front seats are comfortable, but the front seats also have a lot of space. I'm about 6 feet tall, and I have plenty of space here in the MX-30. I have plenty of space in this front seat, and of course the passenger seat's the same way. I have a friend that's about 6'4", and he sat. There's plenty of space for him. So there's a lot to like about the Nissan Leaf. Now, as for the cons, there's a few, but some of them are subjective. Like, for example, I'm not crazy about the exterior styling. The exterior styling is just it's okay looking. The interior is a little outdated, but it still comes with an 8-inch touchscreen, which is pretty big, and it has part of the instrument cluster in front of me is digital, and part is analog, and it looks pretty good. So it's still a very decent interior. It has a nice high center console, which is nice. Other complaints would be the rear seat is a little tight. If you're a tall person, you won't be that comfortable in the rear seats. For kids, it's fine. For people who aren't that tall, it's fine. But I wish the rear seats were a little bit bigger. What else? Oh yeah, I wish this would have a CCS charging port versus the CHAdeMO charging ports. But here in Southern California, there's so many charging stations. It's easy to find a CHAdeMO charging station. But for people who live in an area where there aren't that many charging stations, it might be hard to find a CHAdeMO. So it'd be nice if Nissan had updated this with the CCS charging port, to give people more public charging options. And that's pretty much it when it comes to what I don't like about it. There's only a few things that I don't like about it. I mean, overall, it's a pretty good a little EV overall. So when it comes to charging, I'm kind of lucky, and I say that because I don't have to charge at home. Fortunately, my wife works at Rivian, and Rivian offers free charging for their employees. So my wife is able to do free charging at work, which is awesome. Now, we haven't taken a long road trip in this yet, Only local trips, maybe to San Diego. That's, just a couple hours away, or Palm Springs, which is just, about 2 hours away. And north of Los Angeles, we've gone to, which is also about 2 hours away. So we haven't taken any long road trips. Um, but with the road trips that we've taken so far, I haven't had any issues charging along the way because there's a lot of public charging stations here in Southern California. Now, the Leaf charges pretty quick. It's not the fastest, has a max rate of 100 kilowatts. And now it normally doesn't charge at that rate. It usually charges about 70 or 80 kilowatts. We normally, just charge it for about 30 minutes or so. And then, has enough battery to get where we're going. And in those 30 minutes, I'm either working on my laptop, or a lot of the times the shopping centers are at shopping malls, or there's stores nearby where you could kill some time. So far, the trips we've taken in life with the Leaf it's been good. It's been easy. So now that I have this Leaf, I'm of course going to do a video soon where I will perform my 75 mile per hour highway range test, and I will do some 0 to 60 runs as well. And then I will also do a video about charging the Leaf too, and I'll show you guys roughly how long it takes and how much it costs as well. So stay tuned. Thank you all so much for watching. Please consider subscribing and liking this video. It helps out this channel a lot. And this is a very, very new channel. As you can see, I only have about 12 videos up right now, but I'm hoping to upload one maybe hopefully every week or every other week. It just kind of depends on my work schedule. I currently write for Edmunds.com. And so just stay tuned and hope to see you all soon.